Alright, I'm just making this video in case you guys want to race me on the Mega Mad Minutes. You're more than welcome to. But I've just killed about 10 seconds of time, so you've gotten a good head start on me. But here we go. So cosine of 0 is 1. Sine of 330 is negative 1/2, because that's like a 30-degree angle in the fourth quadrant. Tangent of 30 is root 3 over 3. Sine of 45 is root 2 over 2. Cosine of 225 is like a 45-degree angle in the third quadrant, so it's negative root 2 over 2. Tangent of 180, it's y over x, that's negative 1, 0. 0 over negative 1 is 0. Cosine of 150 is a 30-degree angle in quadrant 2, so it's negative root 3 over 2. Tangent of 300 is a 60-degree angle in quadrant 4, so it's negative root 3. Sine of 210 is a 30-degree angle in quadrant 3, so it's negative 1/2. Cosine of 90, it's 0, 1 is the point, x is your cosine, so it's 0. Tangent of 120 is a 60-degree angle in quadrant 3, so that's negative root, I'm sorry, not quadrant 3, quadrant 2. I pointed the right direction, said the wrong number. Sine of 30, 1/2. Cosine of 300, it's a 60-degree angle in quadrant 4, so 1/2. Sine of 315, it's a 45-degree angle in quadrant 4, so negative root 2 over 2. Tangent of 270, it's 0 over negative 1 because it's y over x, so that's undefined. Sine of, that's just a symbol for the null set. It means the solution set is empty. It's the same thing as writing undefined. Sine of 0 is 0. Cosine of 315, that's a 45-degree angle in quadrant 4. So it's root 2 over 2. Tangent of 225, it's a 45-degree angle in quadrant 3, so it's 1. Cosine of 45, just going to shift that up, get the rest of it in frame. Cosine of 45 is root 2 over 2. Tangent of 240, that's a 60-degree angle in quadrant 3, so it's root 3. Sine of 120, that's a 60-degree angle in quadrant 2, so it's root 3 over 2. Cosine of 120, it's a 60-degree angle in quadrant 2, so it's a negative 1/2. Tangent of 210, that's a 30-degree angle in quadrant 3, so it's root 3 over 3. And I'm also thinking like sine is positive in quadrant 2, cosine's positive in quadrant 4, and tangent's positive in quadrant 3. So that's how I know whether it's positive or negative. Sine of 270, move that cat hair. Sine of 270, it's the y coordinate, and at 270 it's negative 1. Cosine of 210 is a 30-degree angle in quadrant 3, so that is negative root 3 over 2. Sine of 60 is root 3 over 2. Tangent of 0, it's 0 over 1, so it's 0. Tangent of 135, it's a 45-degree angle in quadrant 2, so it's negative 1. Sine of 180, it's the y-coordinate 180, which is 0. Cosine of 360, it's the x-coordinate 360, which is 1. Tangent of 360, it's y over x, so 0 over 1, which is 0. Cosine of 330, it's a 30-degree angle in quadrant 4, so that's root 3 over 2. Sine of 135, it's a 45-degree angle in quadrant 2, so that's root 2 over 2. And then our second page, if I can change pages, there we go. Fingers weren't working that well there. Cosine of 240, that's a 60-degree angle in quadrant 3, so that's negative 1/2. Tangent of 60 is root 3. Sine of 360 is the y-coordinate 360, which is 0. Cosine of 30 is root 3 over 2. Tangent of 150, it's a 30-degree angle in quadrant 2, so it's negative root 3 over 3. Sine of 300, it's a 60-degree angle in quadrant 4, which is negative root 3 over 2. Cosine of 180, it's the x-coordinate 180, which is negative 1. Sine of 150, it's the 30-degree angle in quadrant 2, so it's 1/2. Tangent of 45 is 1. Tangent of 330, it's the 30-degree angle in quadrant 4, so that's negative root 3 over 3. Sine of 225, it's the 45-degree angle in quadrant 3, so it's negative root 2 over 2. Cosine of 60 is 1/2. Tangent of 90, it's y over x, so it's 1 over 0, so it's undefined. Cosine of 135 is the 45-degree angle in quadrant 2, so that's negative root 2 over 2. Sine of 240, it's 60-degree angle in quadrant 3, so that's negative root 3 over 2. Oh, that should be sine of 90. That was a typo. 9 isn't on our unit circle, but sine of 90 is 1. Tangent of 315, it's a 45-degree angle in quadrant 4, so it's negative 1. And cosine of 270, it's the x-coordinate 270, which is 0. And now we have some radian ones. You guys can take out your unit circle if you need to, but remember something pi over 3 is like a 60-degree angle. Something pi over 4 is like a 45-degree angle. Something pi over 6 is a 30-degree angle, and you just have to figure out what quadrant it would be in. And anything pi over 2, it's either 90 degrees or 270 degrees. But sine of pi over 3 is sine of 60, so that's root 3 over 2. Cosine of 5 pi over 4 is cosine of 225, so that's negative root 2 over 2. Tangent of pi over 6 is tangent of 30, so that's root 3 over 3. Sine of 2 pi over 3 is 120. Well, sine of 120 is root 3 over 2. Tangent of 3 pi over 2 is tangent of 270, so that's undefined. Cosine of 7 pi over 6 is cosine of 210, and cosine of 210 is negative root 3 over 2. Tangent of 3 pi over 4 is tangent of 135, so that's negative 1. Sine of 11 pi over 6 is sine of 330, so that's negative 1/2. Cosine of 5 pi over 3 is the same as cosine of 300. Cosine of 300 is 1/2. Tangent of pi over 4 is tangent of 45, so it's 1. Cosine of pi over 6 is cosine of 30, so it's root 3 over 2. Sine of 7 pi over 4 is sine of 315. Sine of 315 is negative root 2 over 2. Cosine of 2 pi over 3 is cosine of 120. Cosine of 120 is negative 1/2. Tangent of 5 pi over 6 is tangent of 150, which is negative root 3 over 3. Sine of 5 pi over 6 is sine of 150, which is 1/2. Cosine of 3 pi over 4 is cosine of 135, so negative root 2 over 2. Sine of pi over 2 is sine of 90, which is 1. And tangent of pi over 2 is tangent of 90, which is undefined. So there you go. Took me a little less than 8 minutes. And yeah, that's where you guys will be at the end of this. Just kidding. We're not going to have any more minutes, but these values are going to continually pop up. So it's good to keep them in your mind. Do not lose your unit circles because it can be useful. All right. See you later. Bye.